Hey guys, welcome to Write Daily. I'm Nick. We're about to do another 60-second writing challenge. Today is Wednesday, so we're going to open up a web browser. I like to use Chrome. We're going to use oneword.com. If you haven't seen this little the Google animation today, it's pretty cool. The spacecraft is traveling between Saturn and its rings, and it's taking pictures today, which is awesome. See there, it's taking little pictures, and it's going to take a little selfie. We've seen it a couple times already, me and my friend, and we adore it. But we're going to use oneword.com to do a 60-second writing prompt. If you haven't used oneword.com before, I have a tutorial video to show you how we're going to use it. It talks about, how it works, what we do, um, and all that jazz. I'm going to link it down in the description below. So check that out if you don't know what we're doing today. Otherwise, we're going to go to oneword.com. I'm going to click this go button. And then after the go button, a word is going to appear at the top of the screen. We have 60 seconds to write about it. And then I'm going to go over what I wrote. If you've written with me, stick with me. We're going to go over some of the ones on the next screen. After that, after we submit it, talk about some of those, some word choice, some diction. Your writing doesn't have to be prose. It can be, character development. It can be D&D sheet. It can be just fleshing out something you feel like writing about. It can be something you felt today and you want to get down if it happens to pertain to this particular word. It can be a poem. It can be math. I've seen math. It can be math. So I'm going to click go. Go. I'm going to mute myself. We're going to go into this. I'll catch you in 60 seconds. 60 seconds. That's 60 seconds. I'm still in the middle of one of my words in this last sentence. So I'm going to finish up this little train of thought here. Then we're going to go over it, submit it, go over some of the next ones. Bear with me. All right. Today's word was shock. What a particular word and a particular thought. When he froze, when he didn't know what to do and how to feel, his mind lingered on it, on shock. He stared at the catastrophe, his eyes darting from one thing to the next. The heat on his exposed face and hands reminding him of the gruesome explosion. The wind and fury and torrent of flame. So a few things. One that stands out to me already is torrent. All right, click that. I'm going to search Google for torrent because I just want a definition. Oh, I got a bunch of downloads. Wow. That's funny. Okay, torrent, a strong, fast-moving stream of water or other liquid. Now, I use torrent even though it's a word that describes usually water. The other definition is a sudden, violent, copious outburst of something, typically words or feelings. I'm saying an outburst of fire, a strong, fast-moving stream. Just one of the other words in here is deluge. The deluge of fire, just taking something that are two opposites. And water is one of those fast-moving, sneaking things we don't think of that can usually reduce something to, its base elements and crush it so fast that I use that for a torrent of flame. just a billowing, fast moving, just firestorm. Firestorm would have worked here too. The wind and fury and torrent. Just an explosion so grand that everything is just blown away while flames just explode outward. And when he froze, which we tend to do in a bad situation, but there's also fire. So I'm using like ice and water and like all that kind of stuff to juxtapose fire in horrific things. He stared at the okay. He stared at the catastrophe, his eyes darting from one thing to the next, the heat on his exposed face and hands reminding him of the gruesome explosion. I really like this. This is a little snippet of something I would write, and I'd clean it up. This is so rough. I feel like I've been writing very like personally, very a lot of you saw me back up. I was writing like, and when you blah 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 blah, when I wanted to switch to third person, right? When he felt this and he felt that, and I've been journaling a lot lately. So subsequently, I've been doing a lot of like I and me instead of he, she, we, they, which I should be doing because I'm a third person prose kind of guy. I love doing that, but I've neglected to do that several times now. And then when I'm in the middle of like a 60-second word thing, it kind of flies out the window and I'm just writing whatever. It's cool till you think about it, then you back up a little bit, waste a little bit of time, and you're like, no, we're doing third person. But since I haven't written a story in a while, which I'm brainstorming soon, I'm dying to do this brainstorm. I'm dying to get something on paper and like show you how my brain works. So then at the end of, I don't know, next month, at the middle of next month, I can have something that I've written that I've expanded upon that I can show you. Because I got two in mind. One is that writing prompt I made last week. And then it was about two people going into a darkness between worlds. They're using it as a portal from one place to another. There's a glowing dress, and like, why is the dress glowing? And there are these hideous, abominable monsters that are being kept back by the glow of this dress. Um, I've got that one going. I've got another one going that I don't want to spoil until I start doing that brainstorm. So bear with me on that. So we're gonna click go. There's no actual go. I don't know why I said go. We're gonna click this button. It's gonna take us to the next page. We're gonna go over some of the other stuff and see what people have written today. So for shock, here you go. I jabbed the fork. Start over. I jabbed the fork into the toaster to pull out an Eggo that was jammed. Suddenly, I received a shock that literally made steam come out of my ears, my hair turning frizzy, and my heart stopped. That's scary. And don't put forks into toasters. Earlier today, I had to tell my friend, don't put knives in your mouth. But she did. No harm done, but I was just finishing telling her, like, you're an adult. You can do what you want. Don't put knives in your mouth. She sat, still in shock, while the sirens rushed past her, down the block into the distance. They would never know it was her. They would never track her down. But in that instant, she knew she had to run. She stood, shaking the dirt from the back of her shirt, and started walking in the opposite direction. That sounds like somebody has done something. They've gotten knocked down or fallen. They're shocked about what has happened, what just happened, and they need to move. Bridget Grace, as usual. I'm going to go to Mara here. Shock is a bad word to use. It's a nothing word. A word that can only mean something to you if you're in the thick of it. You can't feel shock by reading it. You can't feel shock by saying it. You can only feel it when you're down on your knees, waist deep in it. You can only feel it if it's taking your heart out of your chest. Which is good. It's shock is definitely I agree with this. It's a bad word. It's a nothing word. You can use the word shock just to say, like in this other one, she sat still in shock. But what is shock? You can only feel it when you're down on your knees, waist deep in it. And then in Bridget Grace's, blah, blah. They would never track her down. In that instant, she knew she had to run. She shook the dirt from the back of her shirt. And it's just this like, she knew what was going on. She had to get up. She had to go. Oh, this is a good one to hit and land on because it's one of those feelings of like, you can say a character was sad, a character was mad. You can say a character was in shock, but it all means something to somebody else. It's relative. We can all feel happy, sad, mad, shocked. But if you describe to somebody in your prose, if you use instead of she was shocked, if you use something and then tag dialogue with it after that, if you use something like she couldn't move, she was afraid of what would happen if she moved. And if you can convey shock through what somebody is feeling or what they can and cannot do, it's way better than just the state they felt like this. Because if you want somebody to relate, you need to give them something like, since even though we all feel shock, if you describe happy as my heart overflowed with a feeling I couldn't describe, but I was more than content. When I was with these people, everything melted away and the world was a better place. It's happiness. And other people can, if they have felt happiness before, saying happy will kind of bring those feelings to them. Say, I felt warm inside because we've been laughing for hours and I needed it. I needed to feel that. That's happiness. And the more you can relate to somebody rather than just using a word, the better. The better your writing will be, the better your prose will be, the better you'll be able to convey emotions through characters in your writing to other people. I'm going to end on that. So thanks if you've been here with me today. Because that was, oh man, sometimes you go through these and there's nothing that's going to really show you or get what you've been talking about. And that is a really good thing if you're starting writing, if you want to get better at writing, is to convey emotion, not with a word, but with a series of words that relate a feeling to other people. So I'm Nick. This was Write Daily. If you liked what we discussed here, leave me a comment. If you did this today, like or dislike this video so I know you want to see more like this. If you want to find more, words and talk about how to put emotion and emphasis in your writing, let me know. You can hit me on Twitter. I'm at HoldMeToRun on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch. I don't stream anything yet, but hopefully one day we will stream. And if you want to see more, subscribe for more. Hope you had a good time today. Hope you did your 60-second word sprint. Hope you're not doing it. Like I've said before, you don't have to just write. Write daily is not about writing prose all the time. It's not about doing a poem every day. It can be, it can be coming up with characters. It can be character development. It can be plotting out a story. It could be brainstorming. It could be, putting together a collage of things. Just things that have you working on the projects you want to commit to. And that's not always doing the big work, which is the writing. If you prepare all your small work first, your writing, the big thing, becomes much, much, much easier. That's something we all need to keep in mind. Writing isn't just putting the pen to the pencil or the pen to the pencil. It isn't just putting the pen to the paper. And it's certainly not just putting fingers on a keyboard. It can be drawing. It could be coming up with the character design so that when you have to describe these characters or allude to what they look like, you already know. That's it for me. See you next time.